Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Best Ball Breakfast. Operative word breakfast. This isn't Best Ball Brunch. This is good, wholesome family fun. This is stuff that you can gather the kids around and watch as we do educational materials about how to draft best ball teams that can win $3 million in Underdog's Fantasies Best Ball Mania IV contest. Today, we have drafts number 126 and 127. Less than 25 streamed drafts left here on the channel as we march to 15K subs in 150 stream drafts. It's Best Ball Breakfast. The show starts now.
Oh, another Influencer 101 for the backward hats, bro. Rigged!
Zach Ertz with no Tyler Algier bringback? Yikes.
You reached around for correlation? That's a no-no. You ADP bros disgust me. How about you just live a little?
Handcuffing might actually be a way to get unique if the field's avoiding it. The Wi-Fi at this resort is a disaster?
These fucking streamers don't have player takes. What if a piss boy draft is the room you need?
Oh!
All right. The 2023 Best Ball Bros video, I think it was it Chris? I'm pretty sure it was Chris last week who was asking me when that video was going to be done. It is in the can. It has been recorded. I recorded the Best Ball Bros video for the 2023 season. It's where the clips from the intro ultimately get pulled from. Hopefully we'll have that to release in the next day or two. How is everyone doing today on this fine Monday morning? I mean, it's honestly insane. We have this Monday, then the next Monday, and then the Monday after that is Labor Day. I have no clue what my schedule is going to be then. I have no clue where the Best Ball Mania fill rate will be, but we're in the home stretch here, guys. We're running out of Best Ball Breakfast. Fear not, though. This show at 10 a.m. on Monday mornings will not be going away once the season starts. We are going to be reviewing our teams. We have called off the FBI. This year, we'll be reviewing our teams, checking in on them, checking in on weekly winter sweats, and yes, of course, checking in on our shitty DFS lineups as well. But Best Ball Breakfast, it's not just a thing that happens in the offseason anymore. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. And we have to keep it going. And we will keep it going. And I do want you guys to know that there's been lots of rumors over the years that the FBI doesn't allow you to talk about your best ball teams in season. Things are changing. There was a bill that got passed. It made its way through the House, the Senate, all the way to the president. And he did say we can talk about our best ball teams in season now. Yeah, God, I know I'm just going to forget the wide receiver avalanche. I'm getting buried in an avalanche of Best Ball Brunch references. This is what I'll say, because there's going to be some audio listeners. There's going to be some people who are not, on Twitter and not aware of what a lot of the commenters are referencing today. So I'll just get out in front of it. Yesterday afternoon, I noticed that I was tagged in a clip, and I get tagged in all kinds of random stuff, people sending me screenshots of their teams. I generally do a pretty good job of ignoring those, but I couldn't help but notice that this time I was tagged in a video that went to a site called Pornhub, and it was what I later learned to be a 44-minute best ball porno. And you might wonder what that means. It means exactly what it sounds like. Someone filmed a porno that involved drafting a best ball team for 44 minutes. I thought, this is fun. Then people started telling me that this guy is clearly a fan. He's using phrases like live a little, week 17 correlation is a tiebreaker. Then I'm told that he shouts out promo code Pete. I'm told that he says he couldn't have done it without me and that he couldn't have done it without Sean Siegel. And so I was processing that. Our, media team huddled together. We did address the situation on Twitter. We did not link to the video, although if you search hard enough, you can find it. And look, I just want to let everyone know that I feel like this is a really big validation of what we've been doing on this channel. The best ball industry, it used to just be a few of us streaming. Then all of a sudden, the industry's really growing. Our friends are winning Best Ball Mania. We got tools out there. We got the Best Ball Hub. We got the Brick Draft Caddy overlays. Then we have things like the Fantasy Data Pros Best Ball Data Bowl. We have this beautiful ecosystem of content surrounding best ball. But you know what? A lot of the commentary from the outside in is, hey, Look at all these best ball virgins. Look at all these kids out here just in their basements drafting fantasy teams, not getting out there, touching grass, knowing what the scent of a woman smells like. That all ended over the weekend. Best ball players are out there having sex on camera. We did it, guys. We did it. This wasn't just one small step for that man who filmed that video. No, this was one giant step for all of best ball kind. And I just want everyone to pat yourselves on the back. We made it. We partake in an industry that can support a pornographic spoof. Yes, Tyler. Yes, sex positivity in the community. Let's try to get back on track here. Looks like we got a few members hitting some milestones. Chris says he couldn't have done this without me. Has been a member for 15 months. Congratulations, Chris. Kevin Tompkins has been a member for 27 months. Best Ball Brunch is the most important meal of the day, some say. Tyler, of course, here with the usual generous super chats. On the YouTube member front, I did do a special edition of Best Ball After Dark on Friday. It was actually the afternoon. So it was Best Ball Afternoon. And that was with Eric Beimfor. We drafted a really fun team, talked for about 45, 50 minutes about Gal Brain, best ball strategies, how we're thinking about our portfolios as we enter the home stretch. And then we drafted a super fun team. I realized one thing with my exposures on that stream. I finally got the 101. All right. So if there's any reason to become a YouTube member, it's so you can see with your own eyes that I am still capable of getting the 101 in a draft. We did secure Justin Jefferson, and then we did some fun kind of reaches at both the 2-3 turn and the 4-5 turn to set up some game stacks. So if you guys are YouTube members, you get access to all of those Best Ball After Dark series. I've done basically one every week all summer long, all kinds of good strategy and getting to know the guests. So that is part of the perks of being a YouTube member. I need to pour some coffee here is also what I need to do because I'm feeling a little parched right now. We need to pour some coffee. All right. Here we go. GM to Stephanie here. I can't answer all the questions in the chat about Best Ball Brunch. Sometimes you guys are going to have to do some research on your own because we're here to draft a team. We're here to draft a team. It's draft number 126. Let's get my overlays going. We are in the draft. Let's see where we ended up. Always a sweat. Where are we drafting from? The 1-2. We did it, guys. Another early draft slot. Praise be to God. Praise be. Let me get my overlays going. And we're there. We are there. Beautiful. The 1-2. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day. Corey, how many 4 QB teams do you have in BBM? I do not think I have any 4 QB teams. I do. What did I have the one, Corey? Was it in the Pit Bowl? I ended up auto drafting a Pit Bowl team, I think, with 4 QBs. No, I have not gotten to 4 QBs in BBM. Tons of 3 QB teams this year, but no 4 QB ones yet. Although I do think it could be fun to do one if you go like Pickett, Purdy, Howell, Ritter, or something like that to close out the draft. Maybe Tannehill in there. I don't know. Maybe 4 QBs is the build you need. Thank you, Willis. I appreciate this. All right, 102. Look at what's my chase exposure at here? 8.8%. So my Jefferson exposure is still criminally low, 6.4%. I did update the draft caddy here, and I now have, for most of the offseason, I had the week 16 and week 17 matchups in here. Now that I sufficiently have the week 17 matchups memorized, I would like to think I've had that memorized for a few months. I did switch it, and now I have the week 15 and week 16 matchup. So when I see Eckler here, instead of seeing the Denver matchup, we see Las Vegas week 15, Buffalo week 16. So, we're trying to accomplish a few different goals down the drafting home stretch here. one thing is looking a little bit more at 15-16 matchups, specifically when we have onslaughts for teams. That's really the instance where I do care more about those 15-16. So, on a team where I draft, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, and David Montgomery, or you're getting 4+ players, or Sam Laporta. When I have that kind of an investment, I really do care about the week 15, week 16 matchups, because you really need that team to go off for 3 straight weeks to carry you through the gauntlet. So I do think it makes sense to really think about your game stacks in those scenarios. I'm curious to see who the big kind of overreactions are from this weekend of preseason games. We definitely had some interesting news stuff. Let me know in the chat, who do you think is going to be the biggest riser or faller in ADP because of week 2 of the preseason? We see Jalen Warren ripping off a 62-yard touchdown run. We see Tajay Spears ripping off a big run. Got to imagine those guys get a little bit more expensive. JSN got tackled at the 1. Drew Lock threw him just this gorgeous dime. JSN had a beautiful catch. And I joked on Twitter that JSN not scoring that touchdown there literally saved all of us a half-round ADP jump. Because I do really think we're going to see Jalen Warren move up a half a round, if not a full round. Tajay Spears jump a full round just from housing those touchdowns in the preseason. JSN getting tackled at the 1, that protected us. It saved us for one more week until everyone realizes that JSN is the best pick on the Seahawks right now. Thank you, Mark. Mark sending me super chats for landing the number 2 spot. It's such an anomaly that it bears celebration. So thank you, Mark. You guys wanted me to take Nick Chubb. Look, if Chubb fell all the way to 211, then I would have. I am on the clock here. Let's see. You know what? I've been trying to get more Andrews. We're going to reach for Mark Andrews at 211. So we start Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews. And so one thing I realized, and this is because I've been so patient with my stacks in BBM, I realized before Friday, I had 0 Lamar Andrews and Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews teams. I had 0. That was a problem. I don't think that is right. I draft Lamar Jackson all the time with Pat. We've been boosting my Lamar Jackson exposure up. But Pat has me very hyped on Mark Andrews. Definitely check out his massive article about him on Legendary Upside. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. But that was like it was a glass of cold water getting poured on my face when I realized I had 0 Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews. So with Eric on Friday, we did Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews, and Lamar Jackson. And right now I just did Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson with Jamar Chase. So this is one of those portfolio plays. I'm less with 25 drafts to go. We're going to start getting a few of the combinations we want to make sure we have within our portfolio. So a Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews team here. I told the people when I did my portfolio review, I was going to get more Lamar. I was going to boost up my exposure to Lamar and Justin Fields. And now it's time to put our money where our mouth is. So I'm still underweight. I think even Andrews, what am I at? 8%. So I was even with the field there. And Lamar Jackson, I'm at 8% as well. So I'm even with the field, but I was way below the field likely on Lamar and Andrews combinations. And because the days are over of being able to get Andrews Jackson at the 3-4 turn, because that was my initial kind of, hey, do I need to reach for it at the 2-3 turn when some people are getting it at the 3-4 turn? Well, that window slammed shut. You can no longer get Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews at the 3-4 turn. So if I want that stack as part of my overall portfolio, which I'd like to have a couple, then we're going to have to go out and reach for it. So that is what we do here. We start Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson. We got some other interesting teams going here. Our guy Sam Duel goes Bijan, Barkley, and Gibbs. We got Mark out here, pissing yellow, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen. Oh yeah, I'm checking I'm checking now on your guys' suggestions for who's going to jump. How about Kendre Miller? The people tried to tell us our Kendre Miller shares were dead. They said it's not happening, Pete. And then what? Kendre starts with the Saints ones yesterday, catches a sick pass, and then scores a touchdown. You know what? There's room. All of you haters, you can join us back on the Kendre Miller slappy train. We'll welcome you back with open arms. Hyatt, another one who's getting steamed up. Yeah, exactly. Your Kendre bag's not looking so bad now. Musgrave, definitely a huge riser. Speaking of risers and fallers, ADP chasing today at noon. That's on the Ship Chasing YouTube channel. Leone is going to be joining them. Apparently after an insane stream last night. I guess Leone, Silva, and Levitan drafted a DraftKings team on the ETR YouTube channel. I have not seen it yet, but I'm told it was a colossal shit show. So feel free to get Leone's first public appearance post controversial draft with a drunken Evan Silva. I trust that Sam and Davis and Pat will interrogate Leone appropriately. Pete, will you stream any on drafters? No. Underdog pays me to stream. I prefer to stream on Underdog, and I do not even have the time to play on other sites. I was talking about that with Eric. I did a one single entry on DraftKings, like the 255 or something. My mission right now is trying to max weekly winners. When I have time to do an extra draft or I register for a slow draft, it's weekly winners right now. All right, so we're doing Breece Hall at pick 47. All right, I guess we're doing Breece Hall at 47. It was interesting because I feel like immediately following the Dalvin Cook news, like on my stream drafts, he wasn't falling. In Best Ball Breakfast on Wednesday, ooh, look at Base Frank take a JSN. There you go. We'll take Ayuk here. We'll take Ayuk. No need to do the Burrow thing. Already have quarterback, running back, tight end. So our team after the 4-5 turn, we got Lamar Jackson stacked up with Mark Andrews. We got Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk, and we got Breece Hall at running back. Breece Hall at 47. I'm not going to pass on that. Welcome, Timothy, new YouTube member. You can hop in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Another thing your YouTube membership unlocks is the Best Ball Breakfast channel. The breakfast channel. If you end up in a Best Ball Brunch channel, you're in the wrong spot. And you can get ping alerts where I will let you know when I hop in these drafts. So the way I'm assuming Base Frank and KZ and Sam Duel and M Wolf all get in here is because I tip them off ahead of time. So only a few more of the alerts this year. So get in and get those sweet alerts while you still can. Catching up on the chat. You guys are firing today. Mr. enjoyed the Friday stream with Bime 4. Really got me thinking differently on some things. Yeah, it's become an annual tradition to do that show with Bime 4. It was 2 years ago around this time that we drafted a team on stream that ended up finishing in 8th place in Best Ball Mania 2. That Checkers Liam went on to win. And we always end up doing a little bit of gal brain reaching and correlation. He also got me to take 2 wide receiver darts. This is how I'm going to tease you to become a YouTube member. I'm not going to tell you the 2 we took. We took 2 super deep sleeper wide receivers that I have not selected once all summer on any format. I don't even think I selected these guys in the pre-NFL draft contest. I think maybe I took one guy once because of a clip that Bindles made. So if you want to see Eric and I gal braining, you can check out that Best Ball After Dark stream from Friday. Dobby enjoyed it as well. Yeah, the chat is out of control today. You guys are talking about the Silva and Leone stream. Silva was drunk. Levitan was doing a fake laugh every 5 seconds. Leone was rambling per usual during a 30-second draft clock. A lot of these guys, they want to get in the business of streaming their best ball drafts. You need a lot of practice. You need a lot of practice. Otherwise, they could go south quickly. That is a funny thing about all the Dalvin Cook stuff is no one is really talking about Dalvin Cook not being fully healthy right now either. Which is like the entire thesis of the play for getting Dalvin Cook, that he can help the Jets and your fantasy teams bide your time and get some early season production. B-Spurf, is there going to be any week 1 DFS content before the season? That's a good question. My schedule is going to be extremely tight before the year because I'm then heading to Vegas for some drafts, but I will try to get out a week 1 video ahead of time like I did last year. We're about to be on the clock here. We'll see what TJ does. Wow, TJ got the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen start along with CMC and Najee. And he takes Dotson. That's a nice pick. I've been told I need to get some more Dameon Pierce. I've been told he's the starting running back on the Houston Texans. All right, I'll select Dameon Pierce here at 71. 7 picks after ADP. I have legitimately been wanting to get a little bit more Dameon Pierce. So we'll see what Based Frank does here. Probably going to want to grab another wide receiver. We got Javonte and Cook now moved up here. Addison and Flowers go. I'm content to take Quentin Johnston here. We have seen a little bit of a wide receiver run. Zay Flowers goes. I could reach for Bateman here, but it just doesn't feel necessary. I'm going to take Quentin Johnston and Dameon Pierce. So this team through 7 rounds: Lamar Jackson, Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnston, and Mark Andrews. How much did 8th place pay back then? We had, I believe it was $25K. So Eric and I split that one down the middle. But yeah, $25K. Yeah, I mentioned this at the top of the stream. When is Best Balls Bros coming, Pete? Hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday. My editor is making headway on that right now. Should have it in the next couple of days. Rabid says, have you done a weekly winner stream or strategy show? Yeah, we've actually been doing a couple of them on Tuesdays on The Club. That's a show I do with Andy, 8052, Clay Sutton. And the past few weeks, we've been doing exclusively weekly winners. And on Tuesday, we had Hayden Winks come by. And we talked through a lot of weekly winner strategy with Hayden. So I definitely recommend checking out that show. I think we covered a lot of kind of the important strategic angles to consider when drafting in weekly winners. So check out that show. If you scroll back in my old videos, you'll see it from last Tuesday. All right, Frog says, Cecilia, I believe that's your daughter, is not ready for a nap yet, so we were watching Best Ball Breakfast together this morning, making memories. See, I put it on the title. I said this is fun for the whole family. There's no smut here. This is just good, wholesome content. I even made a conscious decision to wear white today to imbue purity and cleanliness and wholesomeness to this stream. Justin says, how do you feel about the double stud tight end, like a Kelsey Kittle combo? I have not done a lot of them. I'm not completely opposed to it. The one thing I would say is I would want a big discount on one of the tight ends. Like, I don't want to be going out of my way to dial up 2 tight ends, but I do think the general thesis of if you draft a guy like Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, and you work under the assumption that they're essentially going to fill your flex as a bona fide wide receiver, then I don't hate the idea of, say, Pitts falls a round and a half, Kittle falls a round and a half, and you're saying, I'm going to slot this guy in as a huge tight end value, and then I'm going to use my premium tight end pick as essentially my wide receiver 1 in the flex. So those are the scenarios, but I don't like going out of my way to do that. And I think I only have a couple, what the kids call bully tight end builds this year. All right. We are about to be on the clock at pick 95. We did Damian Pierce and Quentin Johnston at the last turn, about to pick at 8-9. I'm glad I did not force Rashad Bateman at that turn. He does make it all the way back to us at pick 95. So we'll add him on as the double stack with Lamar Jackson. And then we shall see what Frank does here from the turn. Frank has been absolutely pissing here. Derrick Henry and does grab 2 running backs there, Herbert and Charbonnet. Let's see here. What do we want to do in this range? I don't think this is, you know what? Is this a chance to get a Kadarius Toney share? Still feels a little bit rich. I've been wanting to boost up my Brian Robinson here. Let's do Brian Robinson. We have Brandon Ayuk. I like giving myself outs to playing this Washington Commanders game in the playoffs. I've been trying to get my Robinson exposure up closer to Gibson. I'm at 12% Gibson and at 9.6% Brian Robinson. I still love both of those guys, but I don't feel strongly about one or the other. So want to boost my Robinson. I get that week 17 correlation there with Ayuk. And then on top of that, I think when you take the Breece Hall and you acknowledge that it might be a slower start to the season, I still want to bank in some early season running back production. I think Dameon Pierce and Brian Robinson fit that bill pretty well. So our team through 9 rounds, Lamar Jackson at quarterback, Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson at running back, wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnston, and Rashad Bateman, tight end, Mark Andrews. Who is going to be on Best Ball After Dark this week? I might have to keep it a Best Ball afternoon just to keep it wholesome again. The reason I've been having to flex them to afternoon is because, so this week, and this happened last week, on Wednesday, I have a night stream on Ship Chasing. We're drafting an NFC high stakes team. That's a contest that has a $250,000 top prize. Davis Maddock will be joining us Wednesday on Ship Chasing to draft that. Then on Thursday, I'm going to have the randomizer. And then immediately following the randomizer, we're doing an FFPC main event draft with Crack Rock over on Ship Chasing. So that's another late evening. Then I have friends coming over Saturday night, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, I don't think I can do 4 nights in a row. I'm washed. I'm washed up at my age. 4 late nights in a row when I now go to bed at 9 a.m. because my beautiful baby daughter likes to get up occasionally at 5:15 a.m. like today. And I said, I can't do 4 straight night streams. I just can't. I'm waving the white flag. I'm waving the white flag. I'm a washed up old man who can't do 4 late nights in a row. So that is why Best Ball After Dark will be Best Ball Afternoon, most likely again on Friday. But I do need to book the guest for that. I'll be sure to let you guys know. I need more coffee. I need more coffee. All right. We see, I don't even have to think about triple stacking Odell Beckham because Odell Beckham goes at 104. Can I be honest? So about a lot of my exposure stands, I would say the fade I'm most scared about, and this is just between you and me. This is me being vulnerable. I'm a little terrified of the Odell fade. I sleep like a baby having 0% Adam Thielen. There's a lot of guys. I'm not even scared about my DK Metcalf fade. I'm not scared about that. I'm not even that scared about my Calvin Ridley fade. I'm legitimately a little worried about the Odell Beckham fade. A little bit. I might be clicking him a little bit more down the stretch. That's just me being honest with you guys. I'm a little scared. Just the littlest scared that Odell Beckham could bury me. The reason the Ridley one is not scary is the cost. The cost of like what Ridley has to do to actually bury you when he's going in the late second. He basically has to have a Justin Jefferson season to bury you at those costs. So if he does that, sure. But it's far, far easier to get buried by Odell Beckham than it is Calvin Ridley. Let's see here. Do we have, I think we're going to be able to sit on quarterback. Njoku falling pretty good here. I also don't mind Nico at this price. Let's do, I don't think base Frank is going to, let's scoop up the Njoku value. Njoku at 119. I'm already a little overweight on him, 11%, but Njoku at 119. And then we can do the Nico Collins pick here. I do think it would be fine to grab a Jalen Warren here as well. But I would like to get another wide receiver. 4 wide receivers through 11. I do like Nico, a guy I've been trying to get a little bit more of. Jacob Sanderson was trying to get me hyped on Nico, said he was one of his most drafted wide receivers. This feels like a good spot to get Nico, 4 picks past ADP. So through 11 rounds, we got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. We got Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson at running back. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnston, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, and then tight end, Mark Andrews, David Njoku. So whoever was asking about the bully tight end, I guess Njoku probably doesn't fully qualify for what you were referencing, but I don't mind doing a little Mark Andrews Njoku there at those prices. Sam says, I'm a Hawks fan, so I'm obviously very excited about JSN and love Lockett, but DK might have an absurd TD season. I'm willing to bet on that. And I think I completely agree that if Metcalf gets there, it's because he has a huge TD season. But what are 2 things we know? We know that DK Metcalf is the most expensive of the Seattle wide receivers. And we also know that touchdowns are the least sticky, most volatile thing to bank on. And so not only like if it was flipped, like when you're saying like the Gabe Davis gap, like I get it. Like Gabe Davis could have like say a Christian Watson type stretch where he's getting all these touchdowns. At least that's at a 7th round price tag, right? Where you're trying to embrace the volatility of like the swing in touchdowns here could be really big. You're paying a premium for touchdowns, which we know are hard to predict. We know Amon-Ra St. Brown can get tackled at the 1-yard line 6 straight times. It can happen. So if you're drafting the most expensive player on a team when there's much cheaper ways to play the passing game and also crossing your fingers and just hoping he runs pure for touchdowns, to me, that's epitome of a thin bet. All right, Bindles is spoiling one of the sleeper wide receiver picks I referenced that Eric and I drafted on Friday. We did, in fact, play the Iasovis clip. I never thought Bindles made me this clip. When did you make that clip, Bindles? That had to have been in was that like March or April? I was wearing a hoodie in the video. And Eric floated Iasovis here. And I said, you know what? We have to select this guy with our last pick. He has been absolutely torching the preseason. He probably needs an injury to Tyler Boyd or one of the wide receivers to actually see the field, but I think there's worse bets. There's certainly worse bets. Yeah, Bindles made that clip in March. That's patience. If you love a clip, Bindles, what do they say? You let it go, and if it's meant to be, it'll come back in your life. My eyes lit up when Eric started talking about Iasovis because then I was like, okay, it's destiny. We have to make this click now. Oh, yeah, I forgot pronunciation. Twitter's coming after me now. I should just call him Yoshi. That's his nickname on the team. Somebody sent me an article. Oh, I think it was Eric after the show sent me an article. It's Yoshi. So we'll just start calling him Yoshi, and then you guys can stay off my back. Man, yeah, that was during the big board. The good old days. All right, we're about to pick at the 12-13 turn here. This is what I would call a truly disgusting range. I think we are going to start living a little bit here. Let's go Roshan. A guy I'm continuing to draft here at a good clip. There's nothing I want to do with quarterback in this range. Definitely nothing I want to do with tight end in this range. Let's do Roshan here. I think Frank is likely to take a running back and a tight end. Yeah, I'm continuing to load up on Roshan. What's my exposure at here? 12%. And then, shit. I didn't think Frank was going to take Mingo. You bastard, Frank. Frank getting to 7 wide receivers here. Frank is sick. 6 wide receivers through 73 picks and then has to tack on Jonathan Mingo. Man, now I'm flustered. You know what we'll do? This seems like a good opportunity. DJ Chark also getting really good usage. It's basically him and Mingo who were playing a ton there. I was checking out Dwayne McFarland's utilization report from that game. So if I'm going to miss out on Mingo, let's go ahead and take DJ Chark here as well. Just don't draft him a ton, but I think in this kind of build where I am catching up at wide receiver, I miss out on Mingo. Seems like a good opportunity to grab DJ Chark here. I'm only at 5.6%. I don't mind being a little closer to even on the field on Chark. Let me pull up. I want to pull up what Dwayne was saying about the Panthers. If you guys are new here, this is Best Ball Breakfast. This is my 126th streamed Best Ball Mania draft. I got the crazy idea this year to stream all 150 of my drafts. And as part of that, we're doing a giveaway when we hit 15K subs. Guys, we're very close. We're 105 subs away. We need to just be done with this week. This is the week. Can we end this week by Friday? How about this? Maybe if we get to 15K subs on Friday, maybe I'll make Best Ball After Dark public. Maybe I will make that premium content available to everyone as a thank you for getting us to 15K subs. And then we can do the giveaway on Friday. Only if we get there. We have to get there. 105 more subs. The giveaway I'm doing is $1,500. $500 to 3 different winners. All right. All you have to do to get entered is leave a comment on any of the draft streams. I have a playlist down below. All 150 of my streams, all 127 after today, can be found in that playlist. Every time you leave a comment on one of those videos, you get entered into the giveaway. I think there's 70 plus streams right now. That's 70 entries you could get, theoretically. 70 cracks at winning $500. A little best ball stimulus package with a few weeks to go. But that's what we need to do. We need to get there right now. I just refreshed and 5 of you subscribed. You can feel the frustration in my voice. I'm done doing this promo. I need you to subscribe. We're at 14.9K. 100 more subs to go. We do the giveaway. I make Best Ball After Dark free to everyone this week, and we sail into our weekend riding high. Is that too much to ask? They're out here making best ball pornos about us, and we don't even have 15K subs. If we are going to carry ourselves with the gravitas that earns a best ball porno spoof, then we need to be at 15K subs. That's my rallying cry. Rallying the troops today. Subscribe and smash the like button. Shout out to producer Phil behind the scenes in the hopper on the 1s and 2s today. All right. Let's see what we're working with here. 2 picks I was interested in go right there. Jalen Hyatt, Jeff Wilson. Man, I might go bully tight end with Dulcich. How cheap are we going with Dulcich? All right, Dulcich goes. I don't think I want to handcuff. What other running backs do we have here that are interesting? We could do Gus Bus. I don't have a lot of Gus. I don't mind the running back, quarterback pairings. Obviously prefer it with Dobbins. But if I'm making this big bet on The Ravens, we can add Gus here. And then let's go ahead and do another. So the quarterback situation here, I think we can push it, right? Because we got a couple late guys that we can build out some stacks with. Let's go ahead and add Curtis Samuel. We get another wide receiver. We open up another avenue to a stack. We already have a game stack built around Brian Robinson and Ayuk. I think you could have made the case for me to select my second quarterback there, but with how gross it thins out at wide receiver, I'd rather take Curtis Samuel and push it. So through 15 rounds, Lamar at quarterback, Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson, Roshan Johnson, Gus Edwards at running back, wide receiver Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnston, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, DJ Chark, Curtis Samuel, tight ends Mark Andrews and David Njoku. I am fired up today. Yes. Shout out producer Phil and shout out Porno. The two big shout outs today. Sam's in here tilting a Kenny Pickett snipe. You love to see it. Nolan wants a Jalen Tolbert themed stream. That's how you know you're an OG to watching the channel this summer. This is a good benchmark. If you know why I can only select Jalen Tolbert one time, it means you've been watching these streams for virtually the whole summer. That's how you know you're a real one. If you know the Jalen Tolbert story, it does seem like he's having a good camp. I do. It does seem like Jalen Tolbert's having a good camp. If I get buried by Jalen Tolbert, that would actually be one of the funnest possible burials. Like if I get buried by Calvin Ridley, I'm going to be depressed. But if Jalen Tolbert is the guy you need this year, at least the content bit equity out of it will be perfect. Jalen Tolbert, the 2023 Smash League winner. Then we cut to my clip of being like, I'm never drafting this guy again. Jake Ferguson stealing all the Jalen Tolbert buzz, though. Everybody's all about Jakey Ferguson now going at pick 177 here. Here we go. Mike's trying to get me scared. Tolbert had a good second preseason game. What if he takes Cooks' job? I mean, he couldn't take Noah Brown's job last year, so Brandon Cooks' job is going to be harder. But like I said, the funniest timeline, the funniest Cowboys wide receiver timeline involves Jalen Tolbert being a league-winning, undrafted player. Look at TJ. I don't know if I reckon it, just coming out hot here with the question, Pirine or Montgomery week 1? I would say Montgomery. If you're just projecting like raw fantasy points, I think Montgomery. Let's see here. We're probably going to, we need quarterbacks here. We have options. This just feels like I should just keep drafting Sam Howell, right? Feels like it. But I think we might take 2 quarterbacks here. What if we take Bryce Young as well? What if we go with a 3 quarterback build, which isn't mandatory whatsoever with a Lamar Jackson build, but if there's no other picks I really love here in this range, let's do, you know what? Let's push it. Let's push it. You know what? No. All right, let's go Bryce Young. All right, 3 stacks. So we line up the 3 different stacks here. We got the mega Lamar Jackson stack. We have Sam Howell to Curtis Samuel with the Brian Robinson bring back. And then we got Bryce Young to DJ Chark here. I really don't want to be living in this range for some of these picks. I think Foreman, I guess at this price could have been interesting. Foreman at 173, it would have been a little hand-cucking there with Rojo, but I think at that price, it was probably fine. Did something happen with Foreman? Was Foreman dropping for any specific reason that I missed? humped the shark. This is this best ball porno. It really just derailed everything. TJ, are you setting your week 1 lineup right now? Montgomery and Arrowhead or Samaje, good matchup versus the Raiders. You can't, if you're asking for best ball right now, then you take Montgomery because you can get P. Ryan like 4 rounds later. But if we're trying to set our week 1 lineup, why don't we wait? There's going to be some good projections that come out. We're going to have a lot of information that leaks over the next 3 weeks before they kick off. You got time, TJ. You got time to make this decision. All right. What are we going to do with our last pick here, guys? What are we going to do? I might have a pick. I might have a running back pick that I want to add. Unless you guys have a wide receiver. Are there any other correlations I need to get? We could have taken a Chiefs guy. We saw Justin Ross and Richie James go off the board. We got San Francisco, no Denver stuff. We could do, people want me to take Braxton Berrios. Is that the new hotness on Miami? I'm going to put some names that I think are viable in the queue. Berrios as a bring back to our big Ravens stack. You could go the gross Houston thing and build it out with Nico without the quarterback. Is the Terrace Marshall hive? Are they down bad? Are they done? Is Terrace Marshall, how bad is the Terrace Marshall injury? We could do Chase Claypool with Roshan. The other guy, though, that I've been thinking about is it sounds like Chris Evans. Okay, Chris Evans is already gone. I should have known Sam took Chris Evans. All right, there goes my sneaky play. Visca? Terrace Marshall is hurt? Yeah, I thought he was hurt pretty bad. We could do Visca. I think it's Berrios or Visca. I want to get outside of who gets drafted a ton. Like, I don't want to do the Mechie Woods. I already have enough Marshall. I mean, if we have some Marshall and Marshall's hurt in Visca, I think it's Visca or Berrios. Bindle says Travion. I'm trying to get more Chris Evans now. I think the team is very emphatically telling us that Chris Evans is locking up that 3rd down job. I wrote about it in the Fantasy Life newsletter this morning. Multiple reports on it. The team says they love him as a runner, a passer, and a receiver and a pass blocker. We might have to do, I think the Berrios stuff I like if I'm doing like the late contingent upside play, or if I'm doing a Berrios thing, I think I'd rather have it on a Tua team as opposed to like Berrios doesn't strike me as like the bring back you need. Although I guess if he's catching a bunch of short passes and someone's hurt, maybe. Let's do Laviska. We'll get that double stack with Carolina there. And now we get the only thing that I kind of wish I would have done on this team, I could have gone Chuba, right? And played it there. And then I would have had the quarterback running back pairings for all of those teams. Lamar Jackson with Gus, Sam Howell with Brian Robinson, Bryce Young with Chuba. But we go with the double stack route. I guess Laviska Shenault is going to be a glorified running back for the Panthers this year. That's what I'm told. All right, this team is in the books. Let's go and let's put a bow on it. All right, number 126 in the books. It is a best ball breakfast. That BBB stands for breakfast, not brunch. I know we can't spell it all out there, but trust me, it stands for breakfast. 3582. We got a Baltimore, Washington. Can't fit in Carolina. I'm sorry, we can't fit you in. Here's the team, 3582. You definitely don't need I think a third quarterback with a Lamar Jackson build, but I liked how it played out for getting to build out a couple additional stacks. So we go Lamar Jackson, Sam Howell, and Bryce Young. At running back, we go Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson, Roshan Johnson, and Gus Edwards. I think you could have argued that this should maybe be a 6 running back build. Maybe just a teeny bit thin there. But if Dameon Pierce and Brian Robinson can hold things down until Breece and Roshan get going, I think this one can survive. Wide receivers turned out, I think, decently considering I was through 120 picks and only had 4, but we end up with Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Quentin Johnson, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, DJ Chark, Curtis Samuel, and Laviska Shenault. I think we recovered there at wide receiver. Tight end, Mark Andrews and David Njoku. Njoku slides around past ADP, so I like that pairing there. Yeah, I think the closest call here is just if we slide one of either the quarterback. I think optimal is you probably don't have the third quarterback and you slide that to a running back selection. Trying to see where I took Bryce Young, the running backs that came off. Yeah, I probably should have gone Deontay Foreman over Bryce Young. Deontay Foreman at that price at 194. And then we kind of have locked up a decent amount of the Bears backfield, but it was a close call. I think it was close. I need more coffee. Here. Picking between Braxton Berrios and Laviska Shenault. How the mighty have fallen. I know. It's rough. But I am in that mode now with the late round selections where I just want to be way more in the business of grabbing guys who aren't selected in 100% of drafts. That's kind of where I'm at now, where the probabilities of, who's the guy that's been like a John Mechie, right? John Mechie has been drafted in what, like 90% of all Best Ball Mania drafts this offseason. And guys like Laviska and Braxton Berrios have been drafted in what, sub 5%. And when the probabilities of a late round wide receiver hitting are roughly the same, the guys who are drafted like 90 to 95% of the time become like objectively bad picks. It's the exact same concept in DFS where we have the 3K wide receivers, right? Last year we had our Tutu Atwells, our Tyquan Thorntons, whatever other dusty punt wide receiver was 3K. And if one of them is 1% owned, you can play that guy. That's fine because it reflects the probabilities of them actually hitting. But when you play the 3K wide receiver at 40% ownership, it becomes one of the worst possible clicks on a DFS slate. And I do think, obviously, there's additional concerns in best ball, dead roster spots, yada, yada. But generally, I do think if we're now taking thin bets that are drafted in every contest, I think that's probably bad. So that's something I'm working on a little bit here. I want to get some more coffee poured. We got 510 people watching. We're trying to get to 15K subs by the end of the week. Then we can do the giveaway, 3 people winning $500 each. And I will make Best Ball After Dark free this week for everyone. We'll pull it out from beneath the paywall. That is your mission, to unlock Best Ball After Dark this week. You will not be unlocking Best Ball Brunch, but you can unlock Best Ball After Dark if you get subscribed, like the video, and here's another coffee pour. All right. The coffee is poured here. The music, we need to feed some ducks, right? We need to feed some ducks. The draft I just hopped in is now filled. We need to update our banner. This is 127. We will feed the ducks. The ducks are being fed. The 101. You're finally running hot, baby. The haters said it wasn't possible. They said I couldn't possibly ever get the 101 again. Today's my lucky day. Today is my lucky day. How's the ducks? Everyone feeling the ducks? All right. Feels good. Order is restored in the world. Influencer 101. All right, let's check has my motivational speech for subs. I've got 10 subs thanks to my rallying cry here. So we're now 95 subs away from the goal. All right, we're going to do this week, and then you guys get to be done with my sub promo. I take Justin Jefferson with the 1-1. This looks like a friends and family draft too. We got Pious Devil, we got Copper, we got M Wolf, we got Dark Sheep, we got Jake Twitch, we got Line of Scrimmage, we got Sam Duel, and we got Lee. God, this is going to be one of the friends and families. Friends and families. Another influencer 101 for the Backward Hats Bros. Heading into this draft, I was at 6.4% Justin Jefferson. That's not fun. That's not fun to be underweight the best player in fantasy football because the RNG gods have punished you for being a weak influencer. I used to get all the influencer 101s last year, and now I've fallen on tough times, but we're going to rectify it down the home stretch. 101 on Friday with Eric, 102 to kick off Best Ball Breakfast earlier, and now another 101. We're living at the front end of the board. Look, I bought land in the back half of the board. I set up residency, pitched a tent. No one say anything. But now I'm doing a timeshare at the top of the board. Doing a little timeshare. I had to listen to a 4-hour spiel, but they said, hey, if you come and you listen, we got this timeshare from the 101, 102. You listen to a spiel for 4 hours. We'll give you a few slots up here for 2 weeks out of the year. That's all it took. Wow. Any tips for drafting during jury duty? I assume they confiscate your phone, right? Man, that would have been a good subplot on the show Jury Duty, the kind of reality TV show / prank show that wasn't really a prank show. That would have been funny if one of the characters was super obsessed with drafting best ball teams. Nick says, I'm pretty sure if you tell the jury selectors you're a robust RB drafter, they can't let you be on the jury per the U.S. Constitution. I think that is the play. Or if you were just like terribly honest and you're like, look, Your Honor, I'm going to be really checked out. There's only a couple more weeks of drafting, and I'm going to be listening to people on the stand, people testifying, and I'm not going to be present. I'm going to be thinking about what unique combinations I can galbrain from the 1-2 turn. What do we got going here? This is a Piss Boys draft, right? Chris Olave, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, Calvin Ridley. Man, what happened here? What happened to our draft rooms? This is no longer fun. This is no longer fun. What do we want to do here? Do we start just getting funky? Josh Jacobs holdout is over. Let's do a Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor. And screw it. We're not going to do the Lamar one, but we are going to keep grabbing Andrews. When in doubt, just take the best players, right? Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews. Were you not listening? DK Metcalf is the worst pick on the board. DK Metcalf going over Jonathan Taylor, even Josh Jacobs, like all this stuff. It's a very bad pick. This goes a lot to the dynamic we've been dealing with all summer, where you have to pick your spots for where you're going to capitulate to the wide receiver avalanche, and taking like a mid-4th round value at the 2-3 turn because other drafters got Jalen Waddle and Chris Olave and Devonta Adams is not what you want to do. You're now just drafting a watered down version of their team. I can't compete with an Amon-Ra St. Brown selection with a DK Metcalf selection. Line of scrimmage is already got, but how can I beat these drafters? Well, I can score more running back points than them with Jonathan Taylor. I can score more tight end points with Mark Andrews. But I'm not just drafting a watered down version of their wide receiver start. There you go, Mark. Damn it, Pete. Thought you'd let Andrew slide, and now I have the worst pick. I'm told DK Metcalf is going to score 15 touchdowns, so you're going to be fine. Man, Meatwad's having a tough show. If you think Jonathan Taylor is a watered down Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor is one of the most explosive running backs in the league. We can quibble about like his situation and the holdout stuff and, you know, how he might be wanting to quit on the Colts, but you are not going to win an argument that Jonathan Taylor is a less talented rusher than Josh Jacobs. Oh, how people have such a quick memory. The 101 last year is just a watered down Josh Jacobs. What do we got here? The 12 hole gets 3. So we get Ramondre and Josh Jacobs falling to the 3-4 turn. Sam Duell gets the high T start with Chubb and Pollard. Line of scrimmage gets Lamar unstacked with A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, and Drake London. I know. What's up? Since when did these streamers have player takes? Sometimes the chat forces me to have player takes when they want me to take DK Metcalf over Jonathan Taylor or Mark Andrews. DK Metcalf is a capitulation pick. Amari Cooper is a capitulation pick. That's saying I'm terrified of the wide receiver avalanche, and I'm just going to grab the top wide receiver and ignore the actual range of outcomes of what these guys can do to beat their ADP. Jonathan Taylor can finish as and be a top 3 pick next year. Amari Cooper will have to have a career year again to just deliver on this ADP, not even beat it. Where are you guys in my draft rooms? DK over Andrews all day. These rooms are getting soft. Where's my guy, Bobby Stats? Bobby Stats was in the chat. Oh, Bobby Stats, your idea. So JSN, my most drafted guy, I didn't have a single JSN and Justin Jefferson pairing. I got my first one on Friday with Eric. I was going to take JSN here at the 4-5 turn, but he goes at pick 46. So that dream has died. Najee Harris sitting on the board. DeAndre Hopkins here. Brandon Ayuk's a guy I keep boosting a bit here. We'll grab Brandon Ayuk and then see how else we want to play this. I think we can go Hopkins. I don't mind getting up to being even on the field on Hopkins here at these prices. So after the 4-5 turn, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver, Mark Andrews at tight end. Big Mike and Herbert. The Pius goes Justin Fields and Joe Burrow. That's an interesting selection there. I guess you're worried about me taking Fields because I certainly wasn't taking Burrow, but the double tap there is interesting. Yeah, I just am not a big Mike Williams guy. I guess you do have to reach to get Herbert at this point now, because when you draft Keenan Allen on the backside of the board, even the Eckler teams, Herbert isn't really coming back. What am I at on Herbert? Fields is really the guy I've been trying to boost up. So see, I'm at 4% Fields. What am I at on Herbert? 8% Herbert. So I'm a little more comfortable with my Herbert exposure. Fields is the guy that I would like to get boosted up closer to what I've done with Lamar, where I'm now even or going to end up slightly over on Lamar. 4% Justin Fields feels bad, though. Yeah, everyone likes Mike Williams more than me. Mike Williams has the same issues that DK Metcalf has, but at least Mike Williams is 2 rounds cheaper. So that is far more defensible to me than the DK Metcalf stuff. But I prefer playing Quentin Johnston for the Chargers, and I prefer, if I am doing the Mike Williams thing, it probably is with Herbert. And so I would have had to do what Easy was suggesting there at the 4-5 turn. But the QBs just continue to be tough clicks for me, the expensive QBs. And I do highly recommend, if you guys didn't check out some of the Best Ball Data Bowl submissions, specifically the one from Nick, who essentially reinvented the concept of value-based drafting and value over replacement and did some incredible technical analysis on value over replacement for this edition of the draft board. And it will get you spooked on elite quarterbacks. It will get you absolutely spooked on elite quarterbacks. And I still think the market is treating the advance rates for the elite quarterbacks last year through the lens of them going at the prices they did last year, and now drafting them 2-3 rounds higher and expecting for the same success. And it really isn't a 1-for-1 when you consider the opportunity cost of what you're passing on in some of these early rounds. Now, in drafts like this, where DK Metcalf and Amari are going before Jalen Hurts, I think it starts to get a little more defensible. But I sleep comfy at night knowing that I'm going to be largely underweight to elite quarterbacks as a cohort. I think it's just much, much easier to find quarterback production late, either in the QB window, where you get underpriced guys like Tua and Daniel Jones, and yes, even Anthony Richardson, or playing it through all of the late guys in 3 quarterback builds. But I think the 2v2s on the late quarterbacks versus the early quarterbacks, when you look at how those end up, they're not going to age gracefully for the early QB drafters. Let's see here. I don't select a lot of Michael Pittman. He's here. We do have we're building out this bet on the Colts. Let's go ahead and take Pittman with one of these picks. Is there ever enough Quentin Johnston in my life? I'm trying to think if there's any other correlation stuff I should consider. We do have our bet on the Baltimore team here. Since we're not playing anything through Denver or LAC, let's do Zay Flowers. And so we'll roll out a Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews stack without the quarterback. So through 5 rounds here, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, and Zay Flowers, tight end Mark Andrews. So that's kind of like a classic spot of using the correlation to kind of break ties for me, where I don't normally take Pittman. I normally am always clicking a Quentin Johnston in that range. I think I also could have taken another running back, a Javonte Williams, a James Cook, but using my early selection on Jonathan Taylor to give me more confidence in, hey, I need the Colts to smash. Let's use this as an opportunity to get a Pittman share. And then same with Flowers, betting on the Ravens and getting that stack even without the quarterback. Three QBs in the Dak to Pickett range makes me happy. Yeah, and when you're, the other thing I do think about is, all right, what are my early bets pushing me to? And other than my Ravens stuff, all of these quarterbacks are available late. You know, Richardson, Tannehill, Purdy, Cousins. And so that makes me less likely to grab like an unstacked elite quarterback when I know I have the avenues to building out multiple stacks late. We got Bobby Stats dropping some combinatorial ownership bombs in the chat. Zay also one of the lowest owned combined players with JJ at less than 3% of all drafts. And that's interesting, right? But it makes sense because Zay Flowers ADP for what, 6 weeks, 2 months was right here at like the pick 85 range. So he's been directly opposite of the JJ side of the board. So now I take him a little ahead of ADP, but he's been steaming up a bit. Yeah, he's at pick 80. So he's coming up, but his ADP still puts him on this back side of the board, which means he's not paired a ton with him. And even early on, Pittman probably wasn't paired a ton with Jefferson, although now he's sliding. So I assume Pittman is paired with Jefferson more. I was probably going to take Jordan Addison if Pious Devil didn't. Addison with Jefferson. So our team here through 7 rounds, no quarterbacks yet. We got Jonathan Taylor, anchor running back. We got Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews here at tight end. FF Doom took ARSB and Devonta at the turn the other day to get different, and it felt amazing. Yeah, it is fun when you start to think about even just like the slightly different pockets. Like if you want to reach for a guy, like whoever your favorite wide receiver is, say 2nd round receiver, say Amon-Ra St. Brown, say Garrett Wilson. Like if you take that guy at 5 or 6, and then the players you're going to get with him at 20 and 29 are just naturally going to be so much different than what the majority of the field is going to have with Garrett Wilson. And I think I mentioned this and I wrote it up in a Fantasy Life piece when I reviewed my exposures a couple weeks ago. My Garrett Wilson teams had almost 100% Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, or Jahmyr Gibbs, just because those are the players whose ADP is tethered to the 3-4 turn. Don't worry, Pius. You didn't snipe me on Addison. I'm surviving. I just need the Vikings correlation. It did get Hawkinson. Also, I accidentally picked Javonte while typing this. Hey, it happens. All right, we are going to lock up Anthony Richardson. I don't think I can push Richardson to pick 120. I don't think it's happening. I got JT. I got Pittman. We need Richardson to ball. And then I'm also going to go ahead and buy the dip on DeAndre Swift here. I know everyone is very excited about Kenneth Gainwell, but it's interesting. I was talking to the guys on Ship Chasing about it, and I don't know if you guys listened to Jimmy Kempski. I think he's one of the Eagles beat reporters when he went on the ETR podcast. Adam and Silva interviewed him, and it was really interesting seeing how people were interpreting some of the early Kenneth Gainwell usage from preseason and practice versus how Jimmy Kempski was interpreting it. And he came away still saying DeAndre Swift looks like the best running back at Eagles camp. And we can quibble with what the usage is going to be, if that's going to actually manifest, if coaching staffs get frustrated with him. But my takeaway from that interview wasn't, I want to take, Kenneth Gainwell in every draft and start fading DeAndre Swift. This feels like a spot where I'm happy to start buying the dip on DeAndre Swift. And it works out well too, because one of the things a few weeks ago I said was, hey, I want exposure to both Swift and Penny. I want exposure to both Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, but because Charbonnet and Penny have been cheap all offseason relative to those other two, I've just been clicking the cheaper one and not going out of my way to get more Swift and get more Walker, because there's often more opportunity costs where they're going. So this is like the time now where I can actually balance that out. When the room is going to let me balance it out and get more Swift, then I'm going to make sure I take advantage of that. And I have done a pretty good job. 11.2% Swift. This will get me up. I think I'm getting closer to Penny. Not quite there. I'm at 16.8% Penny, so still have a very big position there. But my goal was to get overweight on Swift, and getting him here at pick 97 feels like a good price to do that. MT Revolt says how the market is handling Eagles running backs versus Buffalo running backs is a soap opera. I mean, to be fair, the Eagles situation, like if you put, I guess it wouldn't be that different, right? If you put all of the Eagles running backs, if you put like Gainwell, Penny, and Swift on the Bills, I assume people would be approaching it similar ADP wise, right? I mean, with James Cook, there is pretty definitive clarity that he's the lead back. He played 80% of the snaps with the starters. He had a 75% route participation. Yes, Damian Harris didn't play because he's still banged up, but all indications are James Cook is running away from that job. There's certainly more ambiguity with the Eagles situation. And I see some of you guys in the chat talking about like having Eagles in managed leagues and how you are going to decide when to start them. I mean, that is really the beauty of just loading up on Eagles here. I feel pretty confident that DeAndre Swift is going to have some spike weeks, that Rashad Penny's going to have some spike weeks. Even even Kenny Gainwell could have some spike weeks. All of those things can be true at once. And all of those players can even be underpriced relative to that spike week potential. I just think those are like the best situations, have been probably one of the most exploitable things in drafts all year. The Dolphins running back room, the Saints running back room, the Bears running back room, the Denver running backs, the Commanders running backs, the Eagles running backs. The market says I'm not getting a 3-down bell cow back. Shrug my shoulders. I don't want to take either of these guys. But the contingent base upside, specifically for some of these guys with really, really explosive profiles, is just massive. It's league winning. The same thing played out last year with the Seahawks backfield. No one wanted Kenneth Walker. He was coming into the season a little banged up. Look at all these running back options I have now. All right, we're gonna put our money where our mouth is. Let's do a little hand cucking here. Rashad Penny with DeAndre Swift. We'll buy the double dip here. We also are going to buy the A-Chain dip here. We got Baltimore in week 17 with Zay and Mark Andrews. Another backfield where I'm much heavier on the later options. When I look at Dolphins running backs, I'm at 12% A-Chain, 12% Mostert, 13.6% Wilson. So pretty even position now. Before it was pretty tiered. I think it was at like 16% Wilson, 15% Mostert, and like 7% A-Chain. I've been boosting my A-Chain exposure of late though. And we add him on here with Rashad Penny. So the team through 11 rounds, Anthony Richardson at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Devon A-Chain at running back, wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. Am I out of coffee? Ryan says, Pete, have you gotten back into a good workout routine to help maintain optimal BBM drafting? Yeah, I'm in a good groove now. Do a combination of using my home gym, been doing like a chest day, a leg day. I still been mixing in my 5, 10, 25s. I did one yesterday. That's the thing that we talked about with Laird. That's been like my go-to easy one when I'm not feeling inspired to program myself a workout. So the 5, 10, 25, you do 5 pull-ups, you do 10 push-ups, and then you run a quarter mile, and you see how many times you can do that in 30 minutes. I got 12 again yesterday and was absolutely gassed. Laird got 14. So it ends up being 3 miles, 60 pull-ups, and 120 push-ups in 30 minutes. So that one is always a good standby for me. And then I'll do like 1 run a week. I'll either go run sprints or I'll go do like a 5K. And I've been trying to do a little bit more yoga because my back has been too much sitting at the computer lately. So I've been doing more standing desk, more yoga. GM to Sam. Yeah, we got our new underdog sign over our shoulder here. Let's check it out. It's looking crispy. Oh, I got to remove this banner for a sec so we can see it. Looking slick. We got the Fantasy Life surfboard. We got the Underdog Fantasy neon sign. We're really cooking. Let me get back to my draft board here. There we go. Anthony says we got 500 people watching, only 154 likes. Come on, people, hit the like button. Let's check and see if we compelled any more people to sub here as we're trying to get to 15K subs by the end of the week. We are at 14,913 subs. All right. We're now 87 subs away. 87 subs. Could we hit it by the end of the day? I'm locking it in now because we're going to hit 15K subs this week. We're going to have a best ball afternoon show available on Friday. It's going to be available to the public. We will do the giveaway on Friday. Just got to get to 15K subs. Don't mess this up. Woodband says just play pickleball. That's cardio, I hear. Apparently, David Kitchen hurt himself playing pickleball. That awful sport takes another. Pius says, I wish I would have taken CMC or Hill instead of Chase. I really don't feel good about these Chase drafts. You might be the only person out there, Pius, that doesn't get excited about selecting Jamar Chase. Talk about looking a gift horse in the mouth. The RNG gods gift you Jamar Chase. And you say, don't really like it. Have you drafted any Patrick Laird? No, I need to, though. Actually, no. I believe we took him in a 34-round draft on ship chasing. We were doing those 34-round NFC drafts. And I do believe I got Ben and Pat to capitulate on a Patrick Laird pick. I also I had pulled this out the other day. My old Patrick Laird burner phone. My iPhone that I used to use exclusively to text Patrick Laird. And then I said, I can't be doing this bit anymore. Just message my Android. All right, what are we going to do here at the 12-13 turn? Should we just triple handcuck it, Kenneth Gainwell? No, that's a bridge too far. That's a bridge too far. Eli Mitchell has been dropping like a rock lately. No quarterback stuff I need to mess with here. Damian Harris starting to fall. All right, we couldn't get Mingo last draft. Let's go ahead and get Mingo here. We could, what's the latest on Eli Mitchell, guys? What's the latest on Eli Mitchell? Yeah, Michael Wilson going at pick 140. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Mitchell because I also have Ayuk building out a little bit of a San Francisco stack. Gives me an option to Purdy later. We also get the Niners play against Baltimore in week 16. So we go Jonathan Mingo, Eli Mitchell here. We got a 1-5-6-1 build. Anthony Richardson at quarterback, running back JT, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Devon Achane, Eli Mitchell, wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Jonathan Mingo, and then Mark Andrews holding it down at tight end. Yeah, team talk or the chat talking about the abductor strain. Sounds like he's back at practice today. I have started mixing in some Jordan Mason at the end of drafts, but I'm not writing off Eli Mitchell specifically at these costs. I think it's a little. I know it's spooky. I forget who I was hearing talking about it. Maybe it was Karain, and they were talking about just how emotional Kyle Shanahan is with his player usage and how guys can fall in and out of favor with him so quickly. So that part is like a little spooky because Shanahan, waking up on one side of the bed and just saying, oh yeah, now I want to use TDP and not Eli Mitchell. That's certainly in play. But Eli Mitchell has a long track record now, I think, in this offense of earning their trust, of having standalone value, even after they traded for Christian McCaffrey, and the team was still going out of their way to give him 10 plus touches. So I'm not writing off Eli Mitchell. I'm not drafting him at ADP. I'm making sure I'm getting a discount with him here, but at pick 145 to get access to, in the same way of like, we know we want exposure to the Eagles running backs, right? We just know that that offense can support multiple producers in the same way we want access to the 49ers run game. It's been plug and play over the years, and I have no problem if you want to mix in Mason, if you're a TDP guy. But once we're talking at after pick 140 here, I think all of those guys are justifiable picks. And the contingent value if CMC gets hurt is still just massive. Are we still boosting our subs here? Tyler is getting close. Whatever that means. What are we at? 14,917. We're doing good. 83 away. 83 subs away. Today is the day. Could today be the day we hit 15K subs? Once we're done with this giveaway, we're going to start doing some merch giveaways. Our friends over at Underdog said we could hook it up. So we'll have some stretch giveaways there. Maybe if we're feeling spicy, we could try to get to 16K. Although that seems a little ambitious. And I just don't know if I have another subscriber goal in me this summer. I'm Jimmy Butler meme exhausted. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Goodness, Greg Dulcich really cratering ADP-wise. We could end up doing another 3 quarterback build here. We're at 6 wide receivers. I'm starting to think through what some of my back stacks could be. I think we will take Brock Purdy with one of these picks. Is my guy Curtis Samuel still here? I think that's the play. I have a lot of Curtis Samuel. I feel good about it. This won't, knock on wood, won't be a Sam Howell team. But if I am building out this Baltimore stack, I'm a little bit behind at wide receiver. And Curtis Samuel continues to be a guy I feel pretty good about. It's funny. I was talking with Eric Beimfor, and he's on the Cole Turner train. And I actually have been saying I want to throw a couple Cole Turner darts just because I have so much Sam Howell. And if he has a tight end that breaks out with him and I have 0%, that'll feel bad. But my kind of way of playing that thesis of like who's going to be over the guy over the middle isn't so much through the tight end. It's Curtis Samuel. It seems like all reports are he is going to be a big part of the offense, those quick hitters with Sam Howell. And so he's been one of those comfy picks of knowing, one, when you're behind at wide receiver, and two, when you have anything that you've built out with that San Francisco Commanders game stack, he really comes into focus to me as a strong wide receiver selection there. So through 15 rounds, we got Anthony Richardson and Brock Purdy at quarterback, running back Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Devon Achane, Eli Mitchell, wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Jonathan Mingo, Curtis Samuel, and then tight end Mark Andrews. No one wants to touch Greg Dulcich. Goodness. I have a Sam Howell problem. No, everyone's now What were we drafting Sam Howell at? Sam Howell's off the board. What's his ADP now? He's at a 185. I'm double the field on Sam Howell, and now everyone's starting to catch up and is starting to draft him. He was free for most of the offseason, and now you got him going ahead of Ryan Tannehill, ahead of Kyler Murray. Everyone's waking up on Sam Howell. See, okay, and Gretch is on Logan Thomas. So we got Logan Thomas, Cole Turner, and Curtis Samuel. Choose your fighter. So I was thinking about 3-quarterback build potentially with Tannehill. He goes there. We could do another Bryce Young. Also figure out what our tight end play is going to be here. We're at a 2-5-7-1 build. Definitely doing at least one more tight end. I'm kind of inclined to go 3 quarterbacks with this build, Richardson and Purdy. And then probably one more wide receiver. I guess it's close, right? Between another running back and another wide receiver. I do have another running back I like here, who I think should be moving up boards a little bit more than he has been. My most owned players. Actually, JSN is now my most drafted player. I believe JSN's my only player over 20%. Yeah, I'm at exactly 20%. JSN is my most drafted. I think Breece Hall is close. Breece Hall at 18.4%, and I took him in a draft today. Breece is definitely close behind. Let's see here. We don't have anything with like the Carolina Jacksonville. I could do like a Bryce Young Chuba kind of thing. Man, Musgrave goes so early now. We will grab Michael Mayer as our bring back. I think what we'll do, yeah, we'll do Mayer, and then Ty Chandler is the guy that I've been wanting to get more of. Kind of playing, we'll play Jefferson and we'll play Chandler through Detroit. Michael Mayer here as our bring back. And then we could potentially grab, there's a couple different things we could do with the Colts thing if we want to build that out. We'll see if Bryce Young comes all the way back. Probably just going to end up with 2 QBs though. Yeah, I mean, Chandler just, he continues to get rave reviews, and I'm actually surprised because like Chandler had shot up, right after Dalvin Cook got released. Obviously, Madison made the big jump. All the reporting has been that McBride is like a non-factor, and so now it's between him and Ngannou. Probably butchered that name. Kene. I'm still firmly on Chandler there, and every single one of the beat reports are talking about Ty Chandler stealing the show for preseason for the Vikings. I think he's the RB2 there, and I feel pretty good. Whenever you can get an RB2 that you feel really good about the talent profile behind a shakier running back 1, I really like making those bets. $10 says, who is a player you're underweight on that you're trying to catch up on to close out BBM? There's a few. Justin Fields is one. I want a little bit more Justin Fields. I mentioned it in the first half of the show. I'm terrified about my Odell Beckham fade. I honestly, and it feels so incredibly gross to say it, but I want a little bit more Odell Beckham. Been trying to get a little bit more Dameon Pierce He's a guy that I took in the first draft. Nerd Rage. Aren't you worried? Aren't you worried that Devon Achane is too little for the job? Aren't you worried? I'm terrified. I am terrified. All right. How are we going to land this plane here? Reminder that ADP chasing will be kicking off at noon today. We got Mike Leone joining Sam and Pat and Davis to run through week 2 of the preseason and get out in front of some of those ADP movements. So be sure to check that out. That's on the Ship Chasing channel. Like I said, later this week, hopefully tomorrow or Wednesday, Best Ball Bros 2023 will be dropping. That'll be on the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed to that one. That's a separate channel than this. This channel is for all the live streams. The Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel, that's where the wide receiver avalanche video is, the anatomy of $1 million lineups, those more long form, highly produced videos. That's where the Best Ball Bros video will live. And then, like I said, later this week, we're going to celebrate 15K subs. We're going to do a Best Ball afternoon show on Friday. We'll do the drawing, provided we hit 15K. So if we want to do another Colts, what do you guys like? Okay, Downs is already gone. All right, Downs is gone. I think Jelani is a fun pick here. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Let's do Jelani Woods with the Richardson. I still like getting a couple of the late pieces with Anthony Richardson. I obviously missed out on Downs and Alec Pierce on this one. So Pittman and Jelani Woods help me take care of that. Let me go look at this team here now that it is in the books. Draft number 127. Definitely drafting Richardson and Brock Purdy as if they are starters for the full season, but draft like you're right, I think is what they say. Best Ball Breakfast, 2673, Indy, San Francisco. So let's review this team here. So we got Anthony Richardson, Brock Purdy at quarterback, running back Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, Devon Achane, Eli Mitchell, Ty Chandler. Feel good about that running back room. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Jonathan Mingo, Curtis Samuel. Tight end Mark Andrews, Michael Mayer, Jelani Woods. So we do get a big bet on the Colts here. Anthony Richardson, JT, Michael Pittman, and Jelani Woods. We bring it back with Michael Mayer there in week 17. Then with our Brock Purdy, we got Brock Purdy, Eli Mitchell, and Brandon Ayuk with a Curtis Samuel bring back. We play both of the Eagles backs here. Swift at pick 97, Penny at pick 120. Love getting those two backs at those prices. We have a little mini game stack on Baltimore, Miami with Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, and Devon Achane. We make a bet on the Vikings with Ty Chandler and Justin Jefferson. And then we got a couple one-off pieces here, DeAndre Hopkins, Jonathan Mingo. And otherwise, this is pretty well correlated here. Feel good about this team. I would have selected Bryce Young if he came all the way back instead of Jelani. I think Bryce Young at pick 216 with this room stacked up with Mingo would have made some sense, but don't mind how this one turned out. Draft number 127 in the books. Can't believe it. 33 more drafts left. No, sorry, 23 more drafts left. Flying here to the finish. How did you not grab Deion Jackson? That's another one of those backfields where every single person tells you that the backup running back is a different running back on the Colts. I do kind of like Deion Jackson, although I think the problem for me is Deion Jackson just caught a ton of balls last year. That's how he kind of made his hay. And I do really have a hard time envisioning Anthony Richardson being some check down running back kind of fan there. So I think I'm more Evan Hull if I'm going to do the Colts RB2. Appreciate all of you guys in the chat. We are so close to 15K subs. Go over and watch the ADP chasing show, which is going to kick off in 20 minutes. Also, make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Life newsletter. I wrote about 3 backfields where we got some actually interesting, relevant news over the weekend and some highlight plays that are, of course, shifting ADP. So I looked at the Titans backfield, the Steelers backfield, the Bills backfield, and the Bengals backfield. So go check out that in the Fantasy Life newsletter. I will be back for all my regular drafts this week tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Spags. Wednesday, we'll have Sean and Pat on. And then, like I said, we'll do a special draft on Friday, a little best ball afternoon, a little giveaway, all that good stuff on Friday afternoon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. The best ball breakfasts are coming to a close, but apparently I'm told there is a best ball brunch. You can